welcome back to Transport Fever 2, everybody. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. Now, you know that old YouTube cliche, the one where someone starts a video and says, I've been trying for so long to record this video and I've not been able to do it until now. Well, that's actually true in the case of this video. Now, if you're watching this as it comes out, or shortly around that time, and you've been following the series so far, you might be aware that there has been a bit of time, about a week, since the last episode. Now, there's two reasons for that. Reason number one is I just needed a bit of time to do some stuff. If you've been following the channel for a couple of years, you'll know about my health, and it was just one of those weeks where I had to take a step back, focus on my health, and keep my head in a good place rather than a bad place. Fortunately, did that. Back to work, feeling pretty good, so crisis averted. The second reason there was a bit of a gap is because I sat down yesterday to record this episode, and I got like 10 minutes into it, and then my PCs just all went black, and the lights went off. And I realized, oh, it's a power cut. First power cut I've been in years that I know of anyway, because sometimes they happen overnight. But yeah, it was a power cut midway through recording this episode. So, lost all of that progress, basically. Every bit of it, just gone. It's great. So, I booted up the game today, and assuming no power cuts, let's talk about what I've changed since the last episode, because there have been some changes. Basically, I've gone into my line manager, and I've done my best to improve the frequency and rates of the Detroit lines right here, other than the stone to brick one. So what I've done is I've brought the frequency of logs to planks down to 26 with a rate of 114. The reason I've done that is because we need 2 logs for every plank and then 1 plank for every tool. So the rate of this being double the rate of these other 2 lines means that we should have a pretty consistent delivery of tools to Detroit, which is what this line's doing here. This is obviously bringing bricks to Philadelphia and then tools up to Detroit, and it's doing that big loop. And essentially, I just added a few vehicles to each of those lines, and it seems to be working a little bit more efficiently, which is lovely. That's kind of what we need it doing. And we do have a tremendous amount of logs up here, so we're not going to be running out of those anytime soon. That's going to be a relatively consistent delivery back and forth. We have the planks getting made down here and moved around pretty well too, and we have some tools coming together over here as well. I'm hoping that at some point we're going to see a bit of a surplus, but we'll keep an eye on that because it's going to be a little while, I think, before we actually see that. Now, I've also been thinking about our plan for Philadelphia and how I want this to be a central hub for a lot of things, and I still do want that, but I'm also thinking that at some point we might want to create central hubs for specific resources, because I noticed that by Laredo we have a couple of oil wells down here. This is technically Philly and this is technically Pueblo, but they're right here, and that's great because there is an oil refinery right here, and then there's a chemical plant right there to turn it into plastic. Now that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And it gets even more amazing when you consider there's 4 extra oil wells up here by Madison and Charlotte. And then if we go up here, there's another one by Virginia Beach and another oil refinery. So we could look at turning either Madison or Laredo into oil cities. And then we take that oil and we process it into, refined oil. We take it out, we turn it into plastics. We could take it elsewhere and turn it into fuel up here in Virginia Beach. And then from Virginia Beach, Minneapolis wants fuel. Simi Valley wants fuel. Glendale wants fuel. And Cincinnati wants fuel. So we could do that as well. We absolutely could, and that's something I'm considering doing, but we'll get back to that because what I want to do right now while we're making money is I want to come back to Laredo. Because Laredo happens to want tools, and we have an easy way to do that. We have some iron ore up here. We have some coal right here. We have a steel mill right here, which, by the way, is going to give us slag, which is hugely important. We can take the steel, turn it into tools, drop it off in Laredo, and circle around with a little line there. So that's going to be great. And that's kind of what I want to do. I'm also thinking that if we do get this slag, where can I take it to for production? It's looking like it's going to be up by Oxnard, which I don't love that distance. We could go from there down towards Warren for a really good, 1-to-2 ratio on construction materials, and then take the construction materials to Salinas. We could do that, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. So let's let the game run and do a little bit of building down here, because we got to get ourselves a few things. I need myself a truck station here by this iron ore mine. We need a single platform. It needs to be 30 meters long, and I want it to be as far away from this guy as I can possibly get, which is going to be right there. And then for this guy, I want to do the same thing, about as far away as I can possibly get, which is looking like it could be right in that corner, which works for me. So let's, you know what? Let's put it like right about there, I think, is going to be fine for that one. So that's where we're going to pick up the iron and the coal. That's then going to be brought down to here. And what we need for this is 2 drop-off points and 2 pickup points. So I want 2 and 2 on this. I want to make sure it's 30 meters, which it is. And the reason I want the 2 and 2 is because obviously we want 2 drop-off points for the iron and coal. We want a pickup spot for the slag eventually. This is assuming it moves out by wagon or truck, which it might be train one day, but for now we'll assume wagon or truck, and then one for the steel as well. So we'll go ahead and slap this thing right about there, and that's great. And then we're going to need a single platform for this one, which is actually going to be kind of expensive, and I don't quite have the money for it, but anyway, we'll be okay. So 4 platforms there. We need a single platform down here, because the same vehicle is going to be dropping off and picking up from this place. So we'll go ahead and just put that right about, I want to say there, and that should be good. So what we want to do at this point is create our lines. So let's go to line manager and new line. And we want to go from here down to, oh, that is a bit of a distance, isn't it? That really is a bit of a distance. I might regret this. This might be too far of a distance, but we'll see how it goes. From there to there, and I want the platform in this to be platform 1. So they come in, they circle around, they go back out and do their thing. And this is going to be road cargo. It's Laredo. Is that how you spell it? It is how you spell it, right? Laredo transfer? Yeah. So that's Laredo, I guess. Ooh, let's try and let's just type that back in. So Laredo. And we're going to be wanting, what is it? Iron ore to steel / slag, I suppose, is what we're looking at. And that'll be fine. So then we want to go and add another new line, which is going to be this guy, and that's going to be coal to steel / slag. And this needs to go down to platform 2, which is right there. So this is once again going to be road cargo, Laredo. And just like that, we have all of the lines that we're going to need. We also have a decent bit of money, so we can actually put vehicles on this in a good amount of time as well. So let me just double check something before I do get carried away. The tools delivery is here, so having that stop right in the middle is actually quite good for us. So what we'll go ahead and do is build ourselves a new road depot, and we'll put it down here in Laredo so my vehicles don't have to go too far when I get around to buying them here. So we'll just slap it right on, I want to say right on that corner, to be completely honest. I think that's going to be a great spot for it. So right about there for a road depot. And we need 3 vehicles right now. So let's go in, let's buy ourselves a horse-drawn carriage, and this is the cargo one. So I'm going to buy 3, and the reason I'm buying 3 is so I can get a baseline on just what the rates and frequencies and all that stuff are going to be. So this guy is going to go on coal to steel / slag, you are going to go on iron ore, and you are going to go on steel tools Laredo. So they can head out and do their thing, and the baseline we're looking at here is going to be what? It is a rate of 2 on this one, a rate of 1 on this one, so we can bring these in. We have enough money to buy a few of these guys. Let's keep this pinned, though, and let me just manage this line, because we want to make sure this is set up properly. So this is coal to steel. So we want to load up on coal, and then at this one, we want to unload. On the iron ore one, we want to manage the line, and we want to say you are going to load up on iron and then unload whatever you're carrying. And on this one, which is going to have 3 stops, we want to load up on steel, which is right here. We want to go ahead and unload the steel and then load up on tools. And then we want to go ahead and unload everything in Laredo itself. So that's now all set up properly. And if we look at the rates and all that stuff, we can sort of bring this into line a little bit. So let's start with the coal line. Let's manage those vehicles. We'll duplicate once, and that's going to do what for us exactly? So 15 minutes. So what do we need exactly is going to be my question. Is it 2 of each? It is. And then it's 1 steel to 2 tools. Interesting. Okay, so that's actually going to cause some problems. That is 100% going to cause some problems because it means that we are going to be bringing... We're going to be trying to bring double the amount of tools around. So using 1 line for this actually isn't really going to work, unfortunately. We'll do it for now, but it's not really going to work long term. So let's keep this pinned once again. Let's get the frequency of this guy down a little bit. We'll, clone all of them. We're down to 8 minutes. So I kind of want this frequency to be 1 minute, if I'm completely honest. So let's duplicate you again. And then duplicate again. And now we're down to about 2 minutes. I'd like that to be better. I'm gonna be honest. I'd like that to be a lot better. But we'll deal with it for now. For this guy, manage vehicles and duplicate all brings us down to 21. Duplicating again is gonna bring us down to 11. And duplicating again is gonna bring us down to 5. Now we're gonna start losing money here. Now that I think about it, we're going to start losing a lot of money because these lines are going to cost a lot of money. So let's go to this guy, manage, duplicate once, and then duplicate again. And that brings us down to 6 minutes on this line. And hopefully that works out because we were making money and we are producing, the iron and the coal and all the stuff we need. I'm keenly aware of the fact that these wagons have come out of Philadelphia. Of course they did. That is the last place I wanted those to come out. I built a road depot in Laredo for a reason. So while that's getting set up, let's go ahead and take a look elsewhere and see what's going on because we have a lot of food waiting here in Fargo and a bit of that's getting ready to go to Philly and a bit of that's getting ready to go to Fargo. So if we look at these lines, I want to see what's going on. I really do, because I just for the life of me don't quite remember nor understand exactly what I'm doing here. I do feel like stone brick to Fargo should have a better frequency. It is making money, so that might be something we want to look into. Food to Fargo is making money as well, and I guess the frequency on that one is what it is. So looking at it, meat, food, Philly, grain, livestock, meat. Man, these frequencies are going to be all over the place. So I'm a little confused on this. I guess if we double all the vehicles on these, just bring that down to 2 minutes, bring that down to 2 minutes, that might help us out a bit. I feel like we should do that, right? So let me pin this. Let me look at food to Fargo, manage the vehicles, duplicate. That should come down to 2 minutes or just above. Grain, livestock, meat, manage and duplicate 7 vehicles. That should come down to a little bit quicker, which is good. Meat, food, Philly is going to be duplicated. And I don't think I have enough money. There we go. I do have enough money. So that comes down to about the same as well. So that's actually pretty good. That should give us more food for Fargo. That should give us more food for Philly. And therefore we get more money. That's the whole point here. So we'll see how that works out. In terms of stone to brick to Fargo, I am thinking of a change there. So if you don't remember about this line, what we've done is we have a little setup here where wagons will grab stone from here, turn it into brick over here, bring it down, deliver it to Fargo, and then head back up and do the whole cycle again. Now, what I'm thinking is that maybe we change that up a little bit because we do need to be bringing some construction material to Laredo. Now, the downside with this is if we change it up, it means we have a line just going back and forth. It's empty 50% of the time, moving stone to construction material. That's obviously a bit of a problem because well, frankly, I don't like my lines being empty half of the time. It means the same thing for vehicles going from here to Fargo. It means they're empty half of the time, and same with Laredo as well. So I'd like to find a way to make sure the vehicles are not empty half of the time. I just don't quite know what that way would be, because obviously it's easier said than done. There's not a whole lot going on around Fargo or Laredo that I would need the wagons to do. So I don't need them to come here and pick anything up and bring it back. So I don't know. That's something we might look into, but for now, I think my focus is going to be on the absurd number of vehicles that I've got making this little trek right here. And I guess we'll see how that works out for us, because I think we're now losing. I think we're losing money again. And I think that's in part because obviously these guys right up here have only just started picking up coal. Oh, it looks like we actually have a delivery coming into Laredo here. It's going to be some iron ore. So let's get an idea of how much that's going to make for a full wagon of ore coming in here. I'm actually a little bit curious about this one, just to see what we're looking at per delivery. If you wouldn't mind there, fella. 18,000. Okay. 18,000 isn't bad. We have some steel finally getting made there as well. This next wagon coming through is going to be coal, and then after that we have coal, and after that we have coal, and after that we have coal, and after that we have coal. I think we're going to have a bit of a surplus of coal quite early on. Something tells me, I have a feeling that there's going to be a little bit of a surplus, but that's probably all right. I don't think we need to stress too much about that. Looking over this way, we still have this convoy of wagons making its way through Philadelphia. They are all going to the Meat Food Philly line, which is probably fair enough. So they're going to be coming in to pick up meat here. They're going to be taking that over to here and then bringing it back to Philadelphia. I forgot that that was a ridiculous line that we had set up. Fortunately, it is going to supply Fargo with food as well. So in general, it should start making a decent little bit of cash. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of a decent little bit of cash, it's looking like the Detroit line is doing all right for itself. My Laredo lines are generally suffering, except for the coal line, but that's obviously to be expected. Meat Food Philly is suffering as well. It's usually a pretty good moneymaker, but I think at the moment, given the fact that it's just had a bunch of new vehicles added to it, it is gonna suffer. That's just how that's going to be. And I suppose it is a little bit of a waiting game right now for these vehicles to get in here and start filtering out properly. There's a good amount of meat just laying around, and hopefully that means we're going to see a good bit more coming through in the not too distant future. I'm not actually 100% sure which vehicles are going to be delivering livestock. Are you? You absolutely are. Okay. So yeah, we have what, 24 in here? So that's enough for what, 6 wagons full of meat to head back to Fargo? I don't mind that at all. That's pretty good as far as I'm concerned. We should also in the, again, not too distant future, start to see, yep, steel coming down here to start making tools, which is lovely. Actually kind of excited about this one because we should instantly start seeing, well, not instantly, but given a little bit of time again, we'll start seeing a bit of a surplus coming in here. And actually looking at the money, what are we doing right now? So Detroit making good, Laredo doing good, surprisingly doing very good on that coal line actually. Logs to planks doing good, Meat Food Philly doing good. So all my lines are actually, they are actually doing surprisingly well. And I'm quite pleased about that. So let's start, do we want to start looking at trains? Do I want to start looking at oil? It would be profitable, because here's the thing. If we set up a little oil production here, and we maybe turn it into, like I said, fuel up by Virginia Beach, we can ship it out to all these places around the northern parts of the map, but Detroit wants fuel as well. And there is a fuel refinery down here. So in theory, Warren wants it as well. So in theory, if we wanted a bit of a more compact setup initially, I guess what we could do is refine some oil right here by Laredo or Pueblo, bring that down to Salinas, and then pump it out to Warren and Detroit. That will make Philadelphia very busy, though, I would imagine. And those are going to be some very long lines. That's why I'd be tempted to do that via train. At least the back and forth for the oil, I feel, should be train. So what I would do is put a terminus cargo station here, a through cargo station here, and a terminus here. Maybe a throughput here as well, because we could actually take this up via, you know, here by train as well. So we'd basically have the train, say, start here, pick up some oil, take it up here, process it, and bring it back, drop it off here, and then it only runs empty between Salinas and Philadelphia. Might not be a bad idea. We probably would only need the single oil well. If we needed a second, we just, you know, bring it in via wagon at some point. I don't know if that's going to be good money this early on, or if that's stupid, but I like the idea of setting up some trains. I like the idea of starting really, really early with trains as well, so let's have some fun. Let's get a bit silly here and see if this is going to be a terrible idea. And if it is a terrible idea, that's okay. I can delete this, I'm sure, and everything's going to be okay. That's how I think that's going to work. We'll find out is what we'll do. Now, how do I want to do this? I'm kind of willing to... Oh, I'd have to have it sort of go that way. Actually, that would work perfectly now that I think about it. So yeah, this is going to run essentially nice and parallel to this road. So right about there, $200 and whatever $1,000 is a lot of money. But then we need a cargo station with 2 tracks, and I probably should have made this terminal a bit longer. How much are we talking for this? Oh my God, 600,000 is a lot of money. I'll tell you what. We'll stick with 160. No, what was it? 240? 160? I think it's 160 by default, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll stick with 160. And oh, there's a hill in the way. Oh boy, we might have to do another tunnel unless I go this way. Unless I kind of come over and sort of down here. And honestly, running along the coast might be better because I'd avoid the hill. But is the cost of that extra turn gonna catch up to me? It definitely might. Definitely might, but I think I'm willing to give it a shot and see what happens. So let's put this train station here. It's already going to be kind of expensive because it does have a hill to deal with. But I'm willing to give it a shot, so we'll build that. And then we're going to want a throughput station over here as well. So if I go to streets and I go to small country road, I know this thing can expand a little bit, so we'll do the station sort of... We'll do this. We'll do this, and we'll hope that I can put a station back there that actually connects to the thing, which it doesn't look like I can. Oh, that does. Okay. So if I put it there, this would have to come in and sort of that way. This might not work as well as I hoped it would, unless I can angle this thing a little bit, which I sort of can. So something like that might work. It's a bit of a weird station, isn't it? But again, I'm kind of willing to give it a shot. So this guy would sort of come out here and in there. This guy is going to come around sort of probably through this way and across a bridge. And that should be fine. So that'll give us a way to do crude oil to refined oil to fuel. And then we just use wagons to take the fuel to Warren and to Detroit. And is there anything I can bring back? That's going to be the real question. I mean, Warren wants tools. So in theory, I could... No, I probably couldn't, actually. I guess the best thing I could do is use a bit of money to build some roads so that this little journey is not quite as long for the Warren refinery. So let's do this. And let's do this on the other side. And we got a bit of curvy road going on. So basically this guy is going to run around like this. It's going to sort of run up to here. And I think I'm going to take out this this bend here, and I'm just going to connect these guys together. So something a bit like that. We'll get a nice intersection right there. And that'll give us a straight shot along there into Detroit. And for these guys, it's going to be even simpler. This is going to come around like this. And I'm just going to do a big sweeping road. Or no, I'm not, because it's going to try and cut away a bunch of terrain. Big sweeping road to there. And that's also going to cut away a bunch of terrain. So down to here and to there. So there we go. That sort of sweeps around. That does its thing. That'll be a straight shot to Warren, a straight shot to Detroit. Now we just need the money for the tracks. That's all we need at this point. And that might that might take a while, because I think that's going to be quite expensive. Although, while we're here, let's see how we're doing. So this is still not really making money. And the iron ore is not really making money either. Which makes sense, because I've just noticed coal is 95 seconds. Iron ore is 4 minutes. Why did I not notice that? Why have I not noticed this? Why am I an idiot, is what I'm asking. So iron ore needs to be on par at 95 seconds. Can I duplicate 8 vehicles? I can. Where is it now? 128. Oh man, it's still 1, 2, duplicate. What is that now? 114. Duplicate again. 103. Ooh, give me one more. That brings us down to 98. I'm willing to say 98. The throughput's 30 and 31 there, so that's okay. And then Laredo, I mean, I guess should have a better, like a better throughput as well. So if we look at this line of managed vehicles and just duplicate the 4 of them, we don't have enough money to do it. Now we did. No, we don't. We still don't. Really? Now we do. So that's now down to 140 seconds. I'm willing to allow that for now. I think that's okay. That should generate a bit more money. I'm slightly concerned those vehicles might have just come out of Philadelphia. Oh, they did. Of course they did. All right. At least we got some out of Laredo. The rest of them come out of Philadelphia. because of course they did. So now we're sitting on $600,000. And as I say that, the money drops to $500,000. So I look like a filthy, filthy liar. We're back up to about 600,000 now. I'm torn. I'm torn because I can't decide if I want to connect up the train tracks or if I want to try and shorten the journey out from Laredo to the coal and the iron, because I could do that. I could push a road over this hill and connect it there, or I could push it through if I really wanted a tunnel, which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really want a tunnel. I don't think I can afford a tunnel, but you know what? We'll take a look. And yeah, so it turns out I was right. I can't afford 1.1 million. I could if I sit and wait for a little while, but I'll tell you right now, I don't really feel like sitting and waiting for 1.1 million for that tunnel right there. It'd be good. It would be faster. It would probably be, yeah, that really would shave a good bit of time off of that. But I kind of want to get my hands on some trains. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's see what we can do here. Now, we've only got the standard tracks, of course. So we're going to have to deal with that. And we're going to come out to here. And then I want to parallel this. I'm not going to have any spacing between these. I don't remember exactly how parallel tracks work. It works like that, apparently. Okay. So now we need to go over the water. And this is the slightly terrifying part. Because going over the water means doing this, which is expensive. But I also want to raise that up because I do want boats to be able to get underneath there. So let me maybe cancel that and make sure that we're at a decent height here. And maybe we want to go from this spot straight across. And boats are still not able to get under there. I think that's because my marker wasn't raised up. That'll be why. Can I raise it up from here? Is that an option that's going to give me? It absolutely is. Okay. So we will start from here. We will go straight across. And looking at it, boats cannot get under there. Interesting. Now they can. Okay, so I'm willing to do this. $267,000 is a lot of money, but I'm willing to allow it. And I'm willing to bulldoze this and this in an effort to connect this all together. $100,000 for that is fine by me. We get the parallel track as well. We'll turn off parallel tracks and we'll merge these guys because we're going to be using relatively short trains for the time being anyway. And we only need the single track here. So that comes through. That's pretty good. We'll go back to parallel tracks and sort of down to here. Maybe go for about 100,000, 106,000 since that's what it was on the other side. So So let's see, right about there, 107. So we get that done. We got our parallel track. We have this nice straight shot coming through. And now I need to take it over to the right and over to there. This actually came in a little bit further than I thought. I was originally going to sort of curve it, but having it go close to Philadelphia is probably okay. So let's see, what kind of price are we looking at for this? 76,000. Honestly, not too bad. Let's cross the road and just get that done with while we're here. So 200,000 for that bend, and it goes down to 72 miles an hour. 209 for that, and it keeps 75. So let's do that. We can afford it, and that's okay. Let's turn off parallel tracks because I forgot that it doesn't go through road junctions. So we'll do that for another 100,000, which is way too much money, but that's okay. So that comes across, it turns. We then want to bring this road over here. And I'm going to say, what is that, 163? Can I get that just in a straight line? It looks like I probably could get that in a straight line to go past that factory. So I'm going to actually try that because I think that's going to be a little bit better for us. So we'll run a nice straight line through there. And we'll go ahead and grab this guy, bring in a nice straight line through there. And we are sort of on track. Every pun intended there. But we're going to have to curve down to the right a bit. And then sort of up and around in a big old curve here. So this is probably going to be the more expensive part of this whole project. But we want to come down like this to, I want to say about there. And that should be all right. So that'll give us a nice parallel section. I want to go in a nice straight line through this forest, since it's nice and cheap. And then maybe a little bit of a straight line again to about there. And I basically want to see what this would cost. So that's going to be $279,000. But honestly, ooh, that is a bit sharp. I feel like that bend needs to start back here. Ooh. Okay, this might be a little bit of a pickle, actually. Or not. This actually looks okay. It's $192,000. We can afford it, so we'll do it. We have the parallel track going through there, and that connects up to here perfectly. Now we just need to run it up to the other station and get some crossover points, and we're pretty much good. So let's bring this guy out here in a nice straight line, as we tend to do. Let's sort of curve it this way, as we tend to do. And I wonder if I can just connect them together like this. I absolutely can. And honestly, I don't mind that. So we'll do that. That gives us the entire connection. That's perfect. My trains, I guess, are going to be on the right side of the tracks. So it'll come in on this side. It comes back. It's going to need to cross over to this side here. So we'll allow that. They're going to go the whole way down through here, down past here, down through here, down to here. It comes in, it stops, it goes back out. That's fine. So that's all right. Now we just need signals, and we are pretty much golden. And there we go. We have the automatic signals in here. So now we just need a train depot, and we're essentially good to go, which is kind of exciting. We can get ourselves some fuel moving around here shortly. Obviously, we need the money for the train, of course, and we need the train lines to, you know, actually have a connection to the depot as well. The depot, by the way, I'm not really sure where to put it. I'm not really sure on that one at all. I don't know that it matters too much for a little sort of starter line like this. So let's just say the depot can live like right down here, and I'll connect up to that line there. So let's swing this guy around. We'll go ahead and slap the depot right in that little corner, and we'll bring ourselves some tracks sort of off of that. So bring it straight out. Bring it straight out. It doesn't need to be a fast line either. Bring it sort of parallel to this guy. And then we'll just sort of merge it, I guess. So it's going to do that right there. We can go into signals. We can turn off auto signaling, and we can say that there is going to be a signal right here and right there. So one of them will wait for the other, basically, is what that'll do. And that seems fine. That seems totally fine. That actually seems like everything we're going to need for the fuel production. Now we just need to ship it out, and that's kind of the important part for Warren. So if we go to road vehicles and buildings, we can get ourselves a truck unload stop. And essentially, we could unload the fuel right there. We could load the fuel up with a single platform thing from, say, right here. If we just go ahead and, plop it right about there. And that'll be good. So that'll be a full production line for fuel. And I wasn't planning on doing anything with Warren, but it kind of got caught up in all of this, so here we are. So let's go ahead and say that it's going to be, I guess, just Warren fuel. So road cargo, it's Warren, and it's going to be, I guess fuel, right? That's all it is. It's just fuel. And then Warren's color can be, what do we want to go for? I mean, we used this last, so I guess the pink is what we'll go for on that one. And then the fuel line itself is going to have to be something else. So if we go to new line, we want to start here. We want to go here. And that train is currently on the incorrect side of the track, but we can probably fix that. We want to go here. And we want to, that is essentially it, right? So crude oil, refined oil, fuel, empty. Yeah, so that is about right. I need the trains to be on different side of the tracks, though, is the tricky thing here. So Pueblo needs to be platform 2, and I think that's now correct. So the train comes in, crosses over, it absolutely does. So this is going to be, I guess, train cargo, so TC? Is that what we usually do? I feel like we use a different abbreviation. But whatever, we'll use, I usually use like cargo train, right? And then like passenger train. But if I do TC, that keeps my trains together. So train, cargo, train, passenger makes sense. So what is this going to be? This is technically Pueblo, but I've also just realized that's also the abbreviation for Top Cat, which is a bit of an older cartoon that I'm assuming many of you don't remember or are too young to remember. I'm starting to feel kind of old. I'm not even 30, but yeah, I did quite enjoy Top Cat. Probably part of the reason I really like cats, now that I think about it. But anyway, I guess this is Salinas fuel, right? So this is Salinas, and then we want to do, I guess, oil to refined to fuel. I guess that's kind of how we're gonna look at it. So it's a Salinas line, which can be that orange, and that's okay. And then it's pretty much good to go. Is how I'm looking at it. So let's go ahead and build a new road depot down in Warren, just to get that sort of in there for when we're gonna need it. We can go ahead and maybe slap it just. I'd like to put it in this industrial area. I'd like to not get rid of buildings though. So let's just put it on this side so it kind of blends into everything. So a nice road depot right about there. We'll go ahead and buy ourselves some vehicles. It's gonna be the horse-drawn carriage. Give me, we'll say 5 of them, and they're gonna be that pink color. And I suppose that's gonna be going on the road cargo line. So that's sorted. Now we need a train. All right. Let me get a train and see what we're looking at here. So we need steam locomotives. This one can do 28 miles per hour. It is a bit heavier. It's a bit expensive, but I'll allow it. We'll make it orange. And then the wagons are going to be tank cars, which I'm going to say are going to be these sort of black wagons, which might be that might be too dark. What about like a gray? Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So 1, 2, I can get 2 of those with my current funds. I can get 3 of those with my current funds. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Now I've bought it. Okay. So we're basically broke now. But if I go ahead and put this on the Salinas line, the train is going out. It looks pretty good. Those sort of darker tanks look pretty great. We should and do have some oil production. So in theory, I mean, I'm going to need to go in and set up that line properly because I haven't actually done that yet. So manage line. In Pueblo, you are loading up on oil, right? You're loading up on crude oil. In Pueblo West, you are unloading crude oil. You're loading up on oil. And then in Salinas, you are unloading oil, is I guess what we're doing. You're unloading the refined oil. So that should be fine. Do we want to tell them to wait a little bit up here for the refining to take place? I guess we probably should. So if we manage line again in Salinas, minimum stop time is 30 seconds, I suppose. I would say that's probably for the best. So minimum stop time is 30 seconds. Maximum stop time is, let's say, 90 seconds. And full load any... wait, no, not in Salinas, actually. I'm an idiot. Load if available. Minimum stop time 0. It's Pueblo West that I want to set up to be 30 seconds and 90 with a full load any. All right. So let's see if this thing works. It should immediately start making money. And that's kind of what I need it to do. So the train's coming in and is gonna pull into a fairly full station. It has picked up 21 units of crude oil. It's gonna head out and start processing that. And what's crazy to me is that this platform is filling up so quickly with that crude oil that I have a theory we're gonna need multiple trains or just simply more wagons per train in no time at all, which is very exciting. And it's also exciting because in theory, we're going to be able to move fuel to Detroit in also no time at all. So let's take a quick look and see how much money we're looking at here as this pulls into Pueblo West. Once the autosave's done, of course. And I'm hoping for a lot. I'm hoping for some good money. What are we getting? 136,000. You know, I'm not actually mad at that. And it's a 2-to-1. Oh! Oh no, I didn't. Oh God, it's a 2-to-1. Oh no. Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was a 2-to-1 ratio. Oh. No, that's rough. Okay, that's oh, that's gonna be a problem. That is gonna be a problem. We might need to look into providing oil to that place via, well, no, oh. I don't want to do a little train that goes back and forth. That seems ridiculous. Unless, now hear me out. Unless, hold on, I've realized something. I have an idea. Unless we take the slag from the steel mill. No. Yes? Maybe? Oh. Hold on. Hold on a minute. I was onto something and then it went away. We have a place down here that will turn one slag into 2 construction materials, right? So, what if we just keep the one train going back and forth, right? So the train is not gonna have a full load of oil coming back, but it could have some wagons that pick up slag. And then that gets dropped off and turned into construction materials, which is gonna be potentially a more efficient production than what we've got going on here. And then we just start shipping construction materials from here to Philly, to Fargo, and the benefit, the important benefit, is we can load the construction materials back onto a train, bring it up, drop it off, and boom, Laredo gets construction materials as well. I might have just come up with a way to make this line a little bit more efficient. There's a chance. There's a definite chance. I'm not saying it's going to be the most efficient. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I have a theory. I've also got 2 signals here for some reason. I'm not actually sure why we've got 2 signals here. Let me get rid of that one because I don't think we need 2. How much money do we get for the little bit of fuel we brought down here? We got 137,000. Okay. That's not bad. And we have a little getting dropped off there for Warren. So Yeah, I'm thinking that we are in a position to do that. We bring slag from here to the station. Half of that train's cargo is going to be slag to Salinas. That gets taken and turned into construction materials. So the wagons that take the slag also bring the materials back. That gets loaded on a train. That gets dropped off up here. And then the wagons that bring the slag to the station bring the construction materials to Laredo. They're super efficient. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm sure there is a critical flaw in that plan, because I was convinced that my idea for this train was genius, and quite clearly it wasn't. But I want to do that. I really want to do that.